And here we are back again, and who doesn't love TED Talks? I mean, you can get lost on the internet watching TED Talks and hearing the great, just in those little snippets of 18 minutes or 10 minutes, I mean, they have a certain length of time. But what is really impressive is communities that are taking on TEDx, which are not part of TED, but they're part in a different way. Indeed, they are part of TED. The X would suggest that you are you're running a licensed, independently organized TED. So you follow all their rules and protocols, absolutely, but then you run your own event. So as long as you're doing everything by the TED book, you can really, spread your wings. Yeah, and I love, and I know you sent me some links when you did. And I thought, well, I'll look at those, because a lot of them were young people that were doing them. They were incredibly good. I mean, it's like, I just left it on and kept letting them roll because they were so good. So you're based right now at the Benjamin School, which is in Florida. Yes, West Florida, North Palm Beach. North Palm. But she's up here now because we're talking about perhaps getting, I know there is a TEDx going on, as two people that I know that are doing it through the library. But this is a different type that you're thinking of, and I think it deserves support. Thank you. Yeah. Well, what we have been doing the last 2 years at the Benjamin School is running a TEDx event that has featured our 7th and 8th graders. And next year, I think we're going to have the high school in it as well. But we're seeing the TEDx event itself as more the culmination of a curriculum that we've started to develop, which we've called the Soul Stories curriculum, because when you organize a TEDx event and it's for grown-ups, hopefully the grown-ups are preparing on their own, and you're just saying, oh, I need the cameras, I need this, you need to be here. But these kids have to put it all together. But these are our babies, right? Yeah. But they're not such little babies. No. They're really good. So what we did is we have started developing a curriculum for them to find their stories and tell those stories. And we've called it the Soul Stories Curriculum DNA because it's a curriculum in the classroom that disrupts and aspires them, so D and A. Oh, I wonder where you got the DNA. Okay. Right, but also that the stories that they tell are so intrinsic to them that they are sort of part of their genetics. So what we believe is that everybody, adult or child, has a story in them, and that story may change from day to day. But we have to find ways to honor the voices of our students, and certainly, as in your prior segment, there are so many underserved children who need to have a voice because it would be therapeutic and because they need to know people are listening to them. And I like to think of it as, you don't think of a TEDx talk. The story is in you, and that you have to be in the right place to listen to it. And so one thing that we are developing this year are mindfulness exercises and relaxation exercises so that students can be quiet enough and filter out all these sound bites and white noise and fake news to which the world subjects them, and instead be able to listen to what they want to say. And then we love the character building portion of this curriculum because students become so steeped in TED. We show them talks by kids, for kids. You show them Al Gore and the rock star Amanda Palmer, and all of a sudden that's so cool to them. They want to be on that stage. So perseverance and grit happen. And how long do the kids have to, I mean, because I know there's a time limit for the big TED Talks. Certainly 18 minutes. Yeah. But what about kids? Because I noticed that, in the first place, they're very articulate and intelligent. It's like wonderful to hear them like that. But how long do you say to them, okay, you can do a TED Talk and you have 10 minutes to do it in, and then go for it, and then you have a faculty advisor that kind of works with them, I'm sure. Well, no, what we do is, for logistics as well as for feasibility for them, we do for our students about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. But that's probably a lot for kids. Yeah. And what they do is it goes through their English class. So first we do all the mindfulness. It's really almost like psychotherapy. Saying, what's your talk? I think I told you I had this one little girl in 8th grade, and she said, I want to do a talk. I want to do a talk. And she said, well, I traveled last summer. I said, I did that.
And then we looked at each other and I said, "Your name?" And she said, her name is Michelle Pfeiffer. And so she did
my gosh.
an incredible talk, not about what it's like to be in 8th grade and share your name with an icon, and how you
found the hook.
And how you own your identity within that.
Yeah.
You know, so we have things like that, but then they develop perseverance and grit because they're not writing a critical essay on To Kill a Mockingbird, although I'm an English teacher and I'm all for writing critical essays on To Kill a Mockingbird, but they want to edit that thing and they want to practice it for 30 hours because they want to get up there.
Yeah, they're amazing, and you can really go to their website. And your website, I didn't think this was the website you gave me to find the talks. Is this the same?
So soulstoriesdna.com is a website that I've put up which kind of hashes out the curriculum and my thoughts about it and has select talks. But you can also go simply on a search to TEDxTheBenjaminSchool and go to our first event, which was themed Pentimento, and our second event, which was themed Muthos. And this year's coming up event is going to be called SapirWhorf, which is a theory of language. But what I'm interested in, which is more relevant to our community, is the fact that I would like to do one of these events up here.
How can we make it happen?
How can we make it happen? We need cameras and we need a place to film. But what I'm doing is, and I can't confirm, but I have some schools and a kind of interesting mix of schools who would like to do this with their students.
I think it'd be great, yeah.
And we would do all of this. We would cultivate their stories. We would get them to practice.
Would it be a summer program, or you would do it all year, or how you would oversee it, or?
Yes, I would oversee it. So for the time being, I would like to see it happen as something that begins for the summer and culminates at the end of the summer. And certainly when that's all you're doing, instead of running a whole school curriculum, that's very feasible. And right now we're talking to a population that does have some underserved children and then one that isn't so much so. And I think it would be lovely to bring those voices together.
Absolutely. Are you familiar at all with Children of the Well?
No, I'm not.
This is a storytelling for kids from internationally, you know, to tell their stories.
I'll have to look into that.
I will. I'll send excuses while we chat.
We're just talking.
But it's when you were telling me about that, Children at the Well is a wonderful program.
I'll have to look into that.
And I'll get that information to you. But anyway, if you feel that you know of schools, or maybe your kids are going to school, that you think this would be a great idea, talk to their administration, contact Christine here, and maybe we can make this happen, because I think it would be a good thing to make happen. You can work through the libraries, and there's a lot of, we are enriched in this community. You know that. You come here for the summer and you see what we do. So we can make this happen.
I'd love to do that.
Okay, we'll work on it.
Great.
Good. And we've been speaking with Cristina James. Dr. James is the academic dean at the Benjamin School in North Palm Beach, Florida. I get that right. Good. We're going to take a quick break, and I wish you so much.
Thank you. You've been lovely.
For that. We're going to take a quick break and find out how you can get your feet wet. No, that wouldn't be the right word to use, but to jump out of a plane? Oh, stay tuned.